What up, my fans, and welcome back to the MMA channel with me, Marisol. The world has been shutting down, and yes, it has affected UFC 249. As earlier today, Khabib has confirmed that he will not be participating in UFC 249. And of course, the internet just had a huge outcry. There were tears shed. People are calling for Khabib to be stripped of his title. Tony himself has called for that as well. And quite frankly, there's just so much going on around all of this craziness. So let's talk about what exactly should be done to properly handle UFC 249. Let's get into it. So in a previous video, I talked about how UFC 249 could potentially be in jeopardy because of the coronavirus, and clearly it is, and it has been affected. We kind of saw this one coming though, as not only has the world been shut down, borders have been closing, and even other organizations have been canceling their events as well. But earlier this week, we heard about Khabib flying into the Emirates, and then they were closing their borders. So then he flew to Russia because we had heard and revealed that Dana White had mentioned that the fight was going to be taking place somewhere on that side of the world. So being in Russia and in the Emirates just kind of made sense. But now, since then, Russia has closed its borders as well, which means that Khabib is stuck in Russia during quarantine, pretty much like everyone else who is stuck in their home during quarantine. So that now leaves us with a UFC 249 with no main event. And Dana White has been adamant about having UFC 249 go on. Of course, when all of this talk about Khabib not being able to participate earlier in the week was happening, people were already throwing out other names. We had Justin Gaethje's name being thrown around as a potential opponent for Tony Ferguson. Other fighters as well were kind of throwing their hat into the ring, saying that they would save UFC 249. We had the likes of Kamaru Usman, as well as Colby Covington, Tyron Woodley, and Jorge Masvidal, all saying that they would go in and save the event and that they were available to fight on April 18th. Now, earlier today, we even had Tony Ferguson himself say that Khabib should be stripped of his title. And if you're Tony Ferguson, yeah, that makes sense. Because as everyone has been saying, this fight feels cursed. I don't agree that Khabib is ducking Tony and trying to not fight, as Tony did claim. I think that's just kind of like he's just kind of being boisterous a bit and all part of the fight game. But ultimately, should he be stripped? I don't think so. And quite frankly, I think that the event should just be postponed. Whether that be Khabib versus Tony is postponed or all of UFC 249 be postponed. As I said, Dana White is adamant, has been adamant in all of the interviews that he's done over the past couple of weeks that UFC 249 will go on. Clearly, Tony versus Khabib can no longer happen in just a couple of weeks' time. So, at this point, we have three options. One, Tony versus Khabib should just be postponed. Or the entire UFC 249 should be postponed, and then we just have another main event. Or the other one is that Tony then fights someone else, and then potentially Tony versus Khabib never happens. Because if Tony fights someone else, say Justin Gaethje, there is that possibility that he might lose. And then if he loses, why would we have Tony versus Khabib later on in the year or even next year? That just doesn't make sense. So I say, given that Tony versus Khabib isn't just any fight, it's the fight. It's the fight that we've been wanting to see for years. It's the fight that was going to make history. It's the fight that I think would still make history. I say it should be postponed. Whether Dana White do that as the whole event, the whole card of UFC 249, or just that, have it postponed until the fall, because the world will continue to operate again. This time with the coronavirus will pass. Things will go back to normal, or a new kind of normal eventually. So I say let's just postpone Tony versus Khabib to the fall because of Ramadan. So that would be the earliest that Khabib could fight anyway. I say let's just do that so we can see the fight. Now, let me know what you guys think, because we could still say UFC 249. I think that the card would still be very interesting if there were other fighters on it, but Tony versus Khabib. Let's just move that to the fall. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you agree with me and think that Tony versus Khabib, even if it's just that one fight, be postponed? Or do you think something else? Do you think that the entire card should be postponed, or just have Tony fight someone else? If so, let me know in the comments down below as to what you think and why that is. And as always, don't forget to like this video and to subscribe for more content. I'll see you in the next one.